Oh, wow.
Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you.
A backstage confrontation so shocking, even Denzel Washington, Hollywood's steady and composed figure, lost his temper. It wasn't just words exchanged, it was physical, and it was filmed. The big question now is, what did Will Smith do to make Denzel, the man who stood by him through thick and thin, lash out? A secret Will never expected to be exposed is now making waves. What happened behind those closed doors? This isn't just another tabloid headline, it's a whole different level of drama. Denzel Washington, the man who prayed with Will Smith after the infamous Oscar slap, is now at the center of a storm that nobody saw coming. What seemed like a supportive friendship has turned into something far more complicated. And it all started when Denzel allegedly slapped Will backstage at an event. But the rumors don't end there. They're about to spiral even further. It all kicked off backstage at a major Hollywood event, where Denzel and Will reportedly got into a confrontation so intense, it left everyone nearby stunned. Denzel, a man known for his cool and composed demeanor, apparently slapped Will after a heated argument. This wasn't just a moment of frustration, it was the moment everything changed. What set Denzel off? Sources close to the incident claim it wasn't just anger. It was a sense of betrayal. Some say Denzel realized that Will, the friend he had defended so many times before, might not have been who he thought he was. For months, Denzel had stood by Will, even offering public prayers and support during the Oscar slap scandal. But now, those same actions seemed to backfire. The confrontation wasn't just about anger, it was about realizing that Will might have been hiding something darker. Insiders say Denzel was shaken after the argument. What he learned during that conversation didn't just disturb him, it changed everything. And here's where it gets wild. A leaked victim tape, allegedly involving Will Smith, has surfaced. The details are murky, but sources claim this tape could destroy Will's career if it's ever fully revealed. CNN has reportedly been involved in breaking the story, and the public's reaction is already blowing up. What's even more bizarre is the way the rumors are taking shape. People close to Denzel now believe that the actor was misled by Will all along. Denzel might have thought he was supporting a friend who was just caught up in a scandal, but what if that wasn't the full story? Some are claiming that Will used his public image as a shield to hide darker, more dangerous behavior. And Denzel, someone who's always kept his distance from Hollywood's most toxic drama, is now tangled in the middle of it. He feels played, and that's why the backstage altercation reportedly turned violent. What nobody expected was that Denzel, known for his calm and faith, would feel personally betrayed. He once stood up for Will when no one else would. But now he's questioning everything.
You seemed a little dazed afterwards, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I was gone, dude. You know, that was a rage that had been bottled for a really...
We all have our individual challenges. It's cliche, money don't make it better. It don't. Fame just magnifies the problems and the opportunities.
But the drama doesn't stop there. A lawsuit has just emerged that ties Will to even more controversy. Brian King Joseph, a violinist who once toured with Will Smith, has filed a lawsuit accusing Will of harassment and retaliation. He claims that Will used his power to exploit him, and when he tried to speak out, he was fired. This is the latest in a series of legal issues that have been slowly but surely making their way to the surface. The timing couldn't be worse for Will, and it's only adding to the pressure he's facing from all sides. Alongside the Oscars slap fallout, Will now has multiple legal battles on his hands, and the public is starting to notice. His clean image is cracking, and that's a problem when you're trying to maintain a Hollywood career.
Violinist is suing Will Smith, claiming retaliation after he alleges that he was fired for reporting harassment while on tour with Smith. Brian King Joseph filed the lawsuit in California earlier this week, accusing Smith of deliberately grooming him for exploitation.
I've spoken to him, and without getting into too much attorney-client communication, he is very thankful for support that he's getting. It's a lot. This story has caught the attention of a lot of media, and a lot of people are talking about this, and he's getting a lot of messages, and people are asking him to come on their shows and talk about the case and talk about things that are going on.
What makes this all more complicated is that Denzel, the man who once stood by Will during his lowest moment, is now distancing himself from him. Denzel doesn't just want to stay out of the drama. He might be realizing that his own reputation is at risk. Could he have been unknowingly supporting someone whose actions were far darker than anyone realized? As these stories unfold, the silence coming from Hollywood is deafening. Insiders are starting to back away from Will, distancing themselves from the mess that's following him. Agents, producers, and even former friends are keeping quiet, afraid of being dragged into the controversy themselves. Denzel's silence, in particular, is raising eyebrows. This is a man known for his strong moral compass, someone who has always been a figure of integrity in Hollywood. And when Denzel keeps his mouth shut about this growing storm, it only fuels the rumor mill. It's no longer just about Will's actions. It's about what Denzel knows, or at least what he's refusing to say. And that silence speaks volumes. And here's the thing. Denzel isn't just any Hollywood star. He's a respected figure with decades of experience. Someone whose reputation is built on loyalty and faith. For him to suddenly step away from Will, it suggests something much bigger than just a simple fallout between two friends. Something darker is at play, and the industry is starting to take notice. This isn't just about one fight or one lawsuit. This is a much bigger issue that ties together all of the rumors, legal battles, and public scandals surrounding Will Smith. His carefully constructed public image is quickly falling apart. Accusations of exploitation, manipulation, and even darker claims have surfaced, and they're not going away. People are starting to ask, how many of these stories are connected? Could this all be part of a much larger hidden narrative that Will has spent years trying to cover up?
For retraction and false defamatory statements. This is from the Hirsch, Litchison, Young, and Polk.
This letter is filled with a bunch of lies and falsehood. In that letter, it says that
this office represents Willard C. Smith II. It has come to our attention that you recklessly and maliciously spread out white lies about our client and his wife in an interview published on or about November 8th on YouTube and again November 14th on 2023 interview on Instagram. And each of these two interviews amongst an avalanche
legal steps, and nothing never happened. Because you know why? I responded to him and I sent something to the bar letting them know that he told the lie. All right, so let's get off of that. Let's go.
My feelings for him are just sadness. I feel sorry for somebody who was a young man in a industry who I believe was completely violated and used by people without, his permission, and he had to just go with it because these were powerful men. And in doing so, he was promised more acting gigs, more career gigs, and none of that ever came. He was angry, upset, and it went down a very problematic route of substances, aggression, being charged, being arrested for bad things that he was him. I absolutely believe that Sean Diddy Combs would do things to Brashear Gray. I absolutely believe that Brashear Gray was violated by both of these men. That in itself is a believable narrative to me. Why? Because Brashear Gray right now is online on OnlyFans getting turned out by multiple men, creating this OnlyFans content, trying to create money from it, and etc. So I can even see that taking place. I can imagine somebody being taken advantage of when they're young, being essayed when they're young, and that in itself can lead to problematic, aggressive behaviors, which is why on in the political world. But over here in the legal world, when it comes to the Hollywood industry and just actors in music in general, not even just in Hollywood in general, but an interview via Tasha K's channel from Bilal, who is, I believe, Will Smith's ex-best friend, has applied more pressure. And the man has come to bring in the conversation of Brashear Gray and how Brashear Gray was allegedly essayed by Will Smith from the...
With each new revelation, it seems like more dots are being connected, and they all lead back to one thing. Will Smith might not be the man he's portrayed himself to be. The troubling thing is that these aren't just idle rumors anymore. There are legal documents, former associates speaking out, and now Denzel Washington, who once supported Will through thick and thin, is keeping his distance. What happens when someone like Denzel, who has built a career on being the moral center of Hollywood, starts to question everything? That's a sign that something isn't right. So, what's the real story behind the headlines? Was Denzel's slap the breaking point for a friendship that was already falling apart? Or was it the moment he realized he'd been defending someone with a far darker side? Drop your thoughts below because we're just getting started with this story. The next chapter is still to come, and it could change everything. Make sure to subscribe for updates, because if these rumors are true, this scandal is only going to get worse. And when it does, we'll be here to keep you informed. What do you think happened between Denzel and Will? Did Denzel really find out the truth? Or is Hollywood just spinning another story to protect its own? We'll be watching as the drama continues to unfold.